They laughed at Paddy Pimblett until he silenced the cage with Chandler's blood. Let's just say it, nobody gave Paddy Pimblett a shot against Michael Chandler. Not the media, not the fans, not even some fighters on the roster. Too wild, too soft, no chin. That's what they said. Chandler's been in there with killers. Oliveira, Gaethje, Poirier. Paddy, he was just supposed to be another name on Chandler's comeback tour. This wasn't lucky. This wasn't a fluke. This was a calculated beatdown from a guy the MMA world laughed at just a few fights ago. And now, he's knocking on the door of title contention. When UFC 314 was announced, most people saw it as the end of the line for Paddy Pimblett's hype train. Michael Chandler, former Bellator champ, UFC top 10 lightweight, one of the most explosive fighters in the game, was supposed to walk through the Scouser like a sparring session. But instead, Paddy flipped the entire script. Everyone said Chandler's been in there with the best. Poirier, Gaethje, Oliveira. What's Paddy gonna do that those guys couldn't? Well, turns out, something entirely different. The first thing Paddy did right, he stayed calm. No rushing in, no swinging for the fences. Just patience, poise, and precision. He didn't let Chandler bait him into a slugfest. He kept range, chopped the legs, and made Chandler chase. And once Chandler did close the distance, Paddy had the perfect answers. Every time Chandler dipped or overcommitted, Pimblett punished him with knees, elbows, or well-timed uppercuts. This wasn't chaos. It was calculated. And the turning point? Grappling. A lot of fans expected Chandler, a Division I wrestler, to dominate on the ground. But once it hit the mat, Paddy showed why he's an underrated submission artist. He used the cage, reversed positions, and even threatened a rear naked choke. Chandler had no control. This wasn't a fluke. Paddy outstruck, outgrappled, and outclassed a guy many still consider one of the most dangerous lightweights in the UFC, and he did it without breaking a sweat. When Paddy landed that final combo, it wasn't just a finish. It was a statement. I belong here. He didn't just beat Chandler. He dismantled him. For years, fans and fighters alike dismissed Paddy as a loudmouth with decent skills. Fun to watch? Sure. But top 10 material? No way. Well, now he's sitting in Chandler's spot in the rankings, undefeated in the UFC, and very much in the mix for a title run. So how did Paddy Pimblett do it? Simple. He leveled up, he listened to the doubts, trained harder, fought smarter, and when the biggest moment of his career arrived, he didn't fold. He finished. Okay, so Paddy Pimblett just dominated Michael Chandler at UFC 314. He controlled the striking, outgrappled him, finished the fight in style. But the big question everyone's asking now is, was that Paddy leveling up, or did Chandler just have an off night? First, let's be real. Chandler's been through wars. He's 37, he's taken damage, and he's been in high-speed car crash type fights for years. That kind of mileage adds up. So yeah, it's fair to ask if he looks slower, less explosive, maybe a bit off. But here's the thing. Even if Chandler wasn't at 100%, Paddy made him look way worse. He didn't just sneak by, he dominated every phase. Distance management, Paddy won it. Takedown defense, locked in. Transitions on the ground, smooth and smart. An off night doesn't explain that. What we saw was a mature, evolved version of Paddy Pimblett, one we hadn't fully seen before. No wild rushes, no sloppy mistakes. Just calm, technical execution. Compare that to the Paddy from 2021 or 2022, the one who used to wing hooks and pray for a scramble. That version couldn't beat Chandler on his worst day. But this version belongs. Even Chandler said afterward, he came to fight. No excuses, no blaming weight cuts or injuries, just acknowledgement. And that says a lot coming from a guy who's shared the cage with champions. Look, fighters hit that moment when it all starts to click. They stop just relying on athleticism and start winning with craft. Fight IQ, timing, That's where Paddy is now. And Chandler, whether fans like it or not, was the perfect test to prove it. Are there still doubters? Of course. Some say Chandler's washed. Some say Paddy got lucky. But at the end of the day, the cage doesn't lie. You don't dominate a former title contender, one who's never been finished like that, without being legit. So no, this wasn't just Chandler slipping. This was Paddy stepping up. Whether you like him or not, he's no longer just hype. He's not just a talker. He's a contender. And at this point, he's earned his spot. Paddy Pimblett just shocked the world by dismantling Michael Chandler. And now, everything changes. The haters, quiet. The doubters, shaken. And Paddy? He's officially entered the Shark Tank known as the UFC Lightweight Top 10. Let's be real. Lightweight is stacked. We're talking about killers like Arman Tsarukyan, Mateusz Gamrot, Justin Gaethje, and of course, the champ, Islam Makhachev. So now the big question is, where does Paddy go from here? First, let's look at what this win means. Chandler wasn't just a name. He was a top 10 guy, a proven brawler, and a massive step up in competition. By finishing him, Paddy proved he's not just a draw, he's a real threat. And the UFC knows it. Dana loves fighters who sell and finish, and Paddy just did both. That means big matchups are coming. No more warm-ups, no more tune-ups. Every name from here on out will be ranked and dangerous. Here are the most likely options. Dan Hooker, a fan-favorite striker, also ranked just above Paddy. That would be a striking war and a great co-main event. Jalen Turner, taller, rongier, explosive. A real test of Paddy's composure and defense. Rafael Fiziev. If the UFC wants to throw him into the fire, this is the fight. Brutal pace, elite Muay Thai, and fireworks guaranteed. Now let's be honest, he's not ready for Islam yet, but he's closer than people think. One more big win, maybe two, and suddenly, Paddy Pimblett is fighting for UFC gold. And let's not forget, Paddy's still growing. He's 29, hitting his prime. He's improved every fight. The speed, the cardio, the composure, it's night and day from when he made his debut. They said I'd get knocked out. They said Chandler was too much. Now look where I am. Ranked, winning, and proving them all wrong. So, what does this win mean for Paddy Pimblett? It means he's in the mix. It means the lightweight division just got louder. And it means that if he keeps this up, you might be looking at a future title challenger, or even something more. They said he was just hype. They said he wouldn't survive against real contenders. But fight after fight, finish after finish, Paddy Pimblett has done more than prove them wrong. He's climbed the rankings. He's taken out a top 10 monster. And now, he's one step away from being a real title threat in the most dangerous division in MMA. Believe it or not, this isn't the end of the story. This is just the beginning. If you're riding with Paddy or just watching to see who stops him, smash that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell. We're covering everything from matchup predictions to post-fight fallout. And drop your take in the comments. Who should Paddy fight next? And can he really go all the way to UFC gold? We're reading every comment, and you already know, this lightweight chaos is just getting started.